Hi, welcome to Gruber Power Hour. I am Janie.
I'm Pete Gruber.
And before we get too far into this, let's talk about our background.
Yeah,
You
actually,
can
we're,
give
we're
us
sitting a
insight.
little bit, the table is more visible on this one, but that's
Yeah.
fine. What we have here is upstairs in Building C. We number all our buildings by letters of the alphabet, and I think we're up to what, G now? Building G,
We have
H,
7,
H.
right?
Yeah. Anyway, this was the third building that we purchased, and we did a complete rebuild on this. It was a number of things before then: multi-use tenant building, walls and partitions, upstairs, downstairs. This is the upstairs portion. We knocked all the walls out. We knew we wanted a second call center. There's one down below. There's one upstairs. And an excellent tile guy put in all of this ceramic tile that you see behind Janie. The partitions, of course, give us the ability to, park people in their own spaces, and a lot of innovation here too. We've got LED lighting. Before it was cheap and popular. We've got three-phase AC units rather than single-phase, which are more efficient, cost a little bit more upfront, and we went to great lengths to make it as pleasing as possible.
Well, you know what? It's a great space when we're bringing in new employees because we do all our training and bringing individuals in on this floor, teaching them how to take care of our customers. But I like the area because of the windows that we have upstairs.
Yeah.
The fact that we have that open air,
And you can see the Deer Valley Airport actually to the
Right.
north.
You can see the planes coming and going.
Yeah, we're second story here. And
Yes.
the other thing you may notice, we have flat screens all around on the walls, and it's a combination of sales data. There's a graph that normally runs on that one between us. And
Oh, yeah.
we also pump a number of images related to our commitment to customer service. We reinforce that every single day, not just on the flat screens on the
Absolutely.
walls, but on the screensavers in the workstation. So when you leave your station and you're gone for 15 minutes, when you come back, it's going to keep reminding you how important our customers are and how to treat them properly and
How to take care of them.
and who creates the paychecks.
The customers.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things that whether we're doing a site visit with the customer or a new employee coming on board, and, they come into this building, they see one building, but then when we do the tour and we have the campus of all the other buildings that we, have here, they're like, wow, there's so much more going on than they realize, in all the different capacities. Yeah, it's awesome. It's fine. Looks like we have some comments already coming up.
Oh, okay.
Highlander, it's always nice when you have a view of where you're sitting at a desk. Absolutely. It is nice. We have some, mature trees outside that help as well. And especially right now, because it's the monsoon season.
Uh-huh.
So what's neat is the last couple of days, we've been able to see the clouds like billowing up in the background when they're starting to come in. So that's a cool view.
I think our social media team is doing the optometrist thing with a tiny font. I can barely read it. It's almost readable, guys, but a little bit bigger.
There we go. I was thinking about that too.
It was big a moment ago. That's my bad. Sorry.
It went small on us. The other thing that we want to, or that I want to point out is this is the first, within recent time,
Right.
the first time that I'm here without a laptop, without any sort of script, without anything. So this is just going to be conversational. But Jesse reminded
Right.
me that the first half dozen podcasts or so, we were no script, no anything, and it was just freewheeling stuff.
Right, having a conversation about what's taking place and what's
Yeah.
going on. That was one thing that I was going to mention is that I've talked to a few of our account managers and the customers that they've dealt with that have been impacted by the Crowdstrike upgrade to the system that the bug took their systems down. But luckily their power was up. It was just their operational system and their computers that were impacted. So,
So they could see the blue screens clearly.
Exactly.
Because they have power.
I know. I was like, thank goodness at least the equipment wasn't tied into it in any way,
So I asked Jesse, I said, well, why didn't we have problems? Because we ran right through that. He says,
Right.
we're not big enough. It was Fortune 100 companies. You got to do hundreds of millions of dollars. And,
Right. Delta Airlines size kind of thing.
yeah.
That's okay. Oh, wait, what is this? The Highlander. I thought Pete Gruber created the paychecks. Lots of laughs.
That is a
No.
common misconception. And
Right.
when I walk through these offices and the buildings, although I appreciate the respect, I feel old when people call me sir, but that's a common thing that happens
Right.
these days. But I continuously reinforce the fact I'm a broker. I'm a skills broker.
Right.
And the paychecks come from the customers. And if we never lose track of that, then we know exactly how to proceed and what to do. You don't need to please me or the other managers here or the people in charge.
Right.
It's the customer that ultimately determines, how big your paycheck is, especially in our sales group where they're paid on a combination of salary plus
Right.
commissions.
Absolutely. That's a big part of bringing people into the company and the culture and ingraining that through our training and all that we do is always making sure to take care of that customer.
And the
to
sign,
follow up.
the sign outside my door is just around the corner there behind my head.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say, chief cook and bottle washer or CEO or,
Right.
It says executive assistant to the customer. And it's a
Absolutely.
reminder, hopefully, to everybody that walks through my door. I'm just like them.
Absolutely. Putting them first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's led to our 40-year success.
Totally. Yes.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
So, one of the things that I was going to bring up and talk about, I've talked about this on previous podcasts and that, but, I came from a totally different industry prior to moving into this industry. I was mortgage banking and finance, and it was a very volatile world. And, I wanted to find myself and build a career in an industry that's going to have stability, future growth. And that way, we can continue working till retirement, or beyond type of thing. And so I came in with no prior knowledge of our industries. No, but, I was given the opportunity to come in.
To learn.
Exactly. And that's what has been so great in providing, the success where I've been able to build from it. But coming in, I started out, working with our customers, calling on our database, following up with the customers. And what I wanted to, emphasize is that we've got such a great culture between having tenured account managers and administrative people and operations, here at our site. And we've got such a group of new individuals coming into the industry, at every age range, kind of thing. And it's really makes us quite diverse. And it's, I think, contributing to taking care of our customers because everybody's got a sense of mission in what they're doing. And it's helpful for us. It's,
Yeah. We were fortunate, and we've been doing this for 4 decades, that we picked industries that were sustainable, that had
Right.
growth, that were,
That's
electronics, high tech.
Yeah.
It's only going to improve. So that was the first thing.
Right.
But the next very important ingredient that goes along with that is adaptability. Are
Mhm.
you able to pivot? Are you able to change? Are you able to adapt to new environments and new markets and
There
new
you go.
industries and changes? One of the first big threats that we had that came along was we manufacture cabling products, all right? And patch panels and, interconnect products for data centers.
Gruber Wired Hour.
Yes, exactly. That's actually yesterday we had our
Right.
Wired Hour. And the threat there became China.
Oh, yeah.
Lower cost of labor, substantially lower cost of labor, and hungry for this kind of process, this kind of manufacturing.
Right.
A lot of companies went under during that time. One of the buildings we bought, actually, Clamp Nail. He used to
yeah.
make specialty nails. He was 4th generation. They were founded in 1914, mind you, the First World War. And he finally closed his door about 3-4 years ago or so when we bought the building. And the reason he said was, well, the Chinese took my business. He never grasped that he had a almost 100-year-old customer base.
Right.
And all he had to do was pivot and insert the globally sourced product into that customer database, and he would have been just fine, continued to run. Now, he could have done what we do. We have 2 different versions of product in the manufacturing group, in the cabling product group. We have the globally sourced, which comes from a variety of countries, but mostly China. And then we have the U.S. made.
Right.
Lifetime warranty, all of that. And oftentimes there are customers that won't buy globally sourced, made in America.
Absolutely.
The federal, all the federal agencies.
Respect to that, yes.
Yeah. Even down to the lower levels, like the municipalities. So the key there is adaptability. Are you able to recognize a shift in the market and then find a solution and respond? And we've been very good at that.
Absolutely. In fact, that reminds me of, the exciting things that we, are looking forward to the future in our growth in Gruber Power Services. We have our brand of batteries that we bring in. And, we're going to continue to grow and build on our battery base, and we're looking to expand that market even further, into UPS equipment and so forth. So, we're looking at the future of where we want to be and how we want to grow.
Yeah, in the last podcast, actually, we spoke about that. We spoke about how many of the UPS manufacturers had their roots in the battery
batteries.
business.
Exactly.
And they began to realize, where's our product going? It's
our
going,
own customer sites.
yeah, exactly. And it wasn't only, of course, critical power. There were other markets they were addressing: automotive, storage, energy storage. So they decided, there's a lucrative market here. It was a new market at the time in the 70s, critical power.
Right.
And many of these battery manufacturers went into that critical power market, making UPSs. Exide comes to mind.
Right.
Chloride is another one. We're doing the same thing. We have a private label arrangement to have batteries made overseas.
Right.
Most manufacturing, unfortunately, can no longer be done in the United States. We have a much higher cost of labor. We have unions. We have demands on, benefits. We have the government continuously telling us what we need to pay our employees.
And how we need to operate.
Exactly.
Right.
So what happens is it drives business overseas. It drives it to places where there's a lower cost of labor.
Right.
And then, of course, the government then tries to fix that by putting tariffs in place. All right. My personal opinion is the government should govern and stay out of business. Free market economies solve their own problems,
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, we have to live with it. So
yes. Highlander's question that just came up is actually similar to what I was just thinking about, that to see if you had any knowledge on. But first, Highlander, do you see lithium batteries coming into GPS soon?
We already have lithium batteries in GMC, of course.
Right, Gruber motor.
The EVs all run on some form of non-lead acid AGM type batteries, wet cells, in other words. Even AGM batteries. What we're still puzzled is why the critical power business, which is where Gruber Power Services operates, is not using lithium ion whole scale. And that's one of our goals is, as we continue to build our battery business, we are building a brand. And that brand will eventually cross over into us supplying UPSs. And since we're high-tech people, we're going to incorporate lithium ion or solid state batteries or some form of much more efficient DC energy storage system than lead acid AGM batteries.
Now, my question for you is that now I understand that batteries need to be, or most batteries need to be manufactured outside of the U.S. for compliance reasons and things like that.
Cost primarily.
Cost primarily.
Competitiveness, yeah.
Okay. Are the lithium ion batteries, are they all manufactured outside, or do we have manufacturers of the lithium ion? Do you know that?
There's still some manufacturing taking place in the U.S., but
Sure.
even the large companies that consume a lot of DC type batteries, like Tesla,
Right.
they're using LG, they're using Cattle, and these are all Chinese companies. CATL,
Okay.
by the way, not CATTLE.
Okay.
And again, it speaks to the production costs for any
Okay.
raw material like that. Lithium ion batteries are a commodity.
Right.
Definition of commodity is there's very little difference between one brand and another brand. It's kind of like eggs and pork bellies and corn. Those are the true commodities, right?
Right. Right.
No one cares who the producer of the corn was or which farm laid the eggs. You go to the
Right.
grocery store. Well, unfortunately, that's how some of these high-tech products are starting to transition into is a commodity. And
Okay.
but yeah, the the business for these types of commodity products is going to gravitate to the low-cost labor areas of the world. And that may not be China in 10 years. That may be
Right.
India. Remember, they've got over 1 billion people too.
Sure. Yeah.
And then as they grow their middle class, then, it shifts to other
There's
countries
other
eventually.
places.
Yeah.
Okay.
As they begin to operate like we do, which is benefits and the government telling them what to pay. And
I was under the impression that it was an environmental factor that was restricting us from.
well, that's another good argument too.
Right.
Yes, we have much stricter regulations regarding the mining of and the
Right.
processing of certain types of hazardous material. In these underdeveloped countries, I don't know if you can call China that anymore.
Right.
They aren't as strict. And in fact, you've probably seen it in the media. They show child labor, for example, working
yeah.
around sulfuric acid, pouring it into wet
All the
cell type
gases and
batteries.
smoke in the air and
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
India, where they're rebuilding batteries and the fumes from the heating of the lead and all of that.
Now, do lithium ion batteries have that same, because they obviously they have different elements inside of them. They're not made at the same,
Yeah. Well,
so.
compared to lead acid batteries,
Yeah.
remember lead is poisonous,
Right.
right?
Right.
Lithium is not as toxic.
Okay. Gotcha.
And there's another component to this, which is a new development. The companies like Redwood Materials, Li-Cycle here in town, that recycle lithium-ion batteries,
Right.
it's high-grade ore. The recovery on that is well into the 90% range. In other words,
Oh,
you don't
wow.
have to go
That's a
out.
lot.
Yeah, you don't have to go out and mine new stuff anymore.
Right.
The brine ponds in Bolivia, South America, where they get lithium from, one of the large producers.
Okay.
If you think about the amount of cost involved in something like that and the lack of efficiencies, first of all, they have to, dry up the element. Then they have to process it. Then they have to ship it across South America. Then it goes on a boat. It gets shipped to the United States.
Right.
Then it goes by truck again, to wherever the production plant is that makes the batteries.
Puts it together. Yeah.
With this high grade ore, the recycling of this product,
We
you,
could do
you
all, we
eliminate.
save all that transport.
Totally.
Oh, absolutely.
You completely eliminate all of that, and you end up with a much faster return on the
Okay.
product getting back into use. And the most brilliant thing is when these recycling plants are built by or close to the large consumers, like Tesla, for example.
Right. Oh, that makes perfect sense. I did not know that. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
there's
So
a-
we're just able to regenerate and go back into. Oh, very good. Interesting factor. Okay. That makes me more into the EV movement and the lithium ion. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, yes. The commercial moment. There you go.
All right.
We have we have our cases here for your sunglass cases. And they've been customized. Now, I don't know, like how custom can we do these?
We really need Richard and Mark to do these.
Okay, gotcha.
Unless there's someone
Jesse?
back there on the social media team like Aaron who can really talk about these sunglass cases. What do you think,
Yeah.
Aaron? Are you up to it today?
Yeah, sure.
Hold on one
yeah, just
second.
give me
You
one
tell.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go a session without a commercial, right?
Okay, yes, I think these are like suede on the inside, it feels like.
Yeah, so it's
soft.
actually
leather suede.
100% genuine leather.
Leather. Oh,
The
okay.
inside actually doesn't scratch your lenses,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I wish I had these because I had $250 Oakleys
Uh-huh.
for softball. And what I did, I was putting them in a cheap pair of glass holders,
Yeah.
and they scratched the whole entire lenses on them.
Ah,
So
gross.
since I switched to these, no more scratches.
Oh, wow. Okay. There we
Plus,
go.
I grew 2 more inches because I had this. I don't know how it happened, but it did.
Let me give you a suggestion
And
about.
there's more. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
So let me give you a suggestion about your Oakleys. These are Oakleys here. And when I had my laser surgery done, they were prescription Oakleys.
Right.
So they didn't work anymore. The lenses didn't work. I found on Amazon that you can get replacement lenses for your Oakleys, and it's like
The
20 bucks or
individual
something like that.
lenses.
Yeah. So that's why you'll see me now. I've got 2 sets of Oakleys because I had 2 different prescriptions at one point, and there's the orange set and there's the blue set. So
Nice little
a tip for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. Very cool. So what else do we have going on? Latest, we are going to be launching a new website soon, and I wanted to make sure to get that out to everybody. We're going to be launching a new website for both our communications division and our power division. The Gruber Communications website's going to be coming up very soon here. I don't know, within the week, I would say pretty quickly here.
I think Com's going live next week, right, guys?
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see about next week. I reached out to our ad team, and they're going to let me know on their schedule, but it could be as early as next week.
Okay, so I encourage all of our viewers to stay tuned. Log in, grubercommunications.com, and pull up our new website. It's going to have some awesome features. I know they covered it in our Gruber Wired Hour as well, so you can look for that. But then we're also going to be refreshing our Gruber Power Services website, which I'm excited to get that launched as well.
The improvements are going to be navigation, ease
Right.
of navigation. With the old website, it might take 7 clicks to get somewhere. The whole focus with this new website has been to shorten that process. And we've got some very talented people here that are efficiency experts that have actually helped us achieve that goal. The next one is, and this is a big one, our websites were created before the age of cell phones. Not
Oh,
really,
right.
but
Yeah.
nowadays our websites are going to be mobile friendly. Is that what they call that, guys? Mobile friendly for cell phones?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on
Yeah, it's
track.
going to work on all devices, tablets, laptops, phones.
Awesome. So, and then ability to find things. So you're on your
Right.
cell phone. Search capability improves.
Yes.
Are we going to have on the GPS website configurators?
For GPS?
Yeah, for
Well,
GPS.
I've talked about energy efficiency, implementing that. So that's something
We're
that
working
we've
on it
talked
still,
about in the
okay.
future. Yep.
What I'm envisioning here, folks, is if you have an SU2200 APC UPS and you need a new battery pack, being able to type that into our website and then tell you what pack it needs and then take you to a description and a price and ability to order. That's going to create a lot of online purchasing.
Absolutely. I'm excited because we're going to also be able, because we've come a long way throughout the years, and we have so much more that we can do and offer to our customers than we have showing visible on our website. And so to be able to put that information, making it easy for our customers to see our capabilities is going to be a big thing for it. It's like batteries, for example. Right now you go to our website and it's limited on what we're able to do for our customers. We're actually able to provide them any make, model, size, that they need for their equipment. And we'll make sure to get them the right batteries.
There will also be a unification of resources on this website. We have a number of tutorial videos out on our YouTube channel. What we're going to do is make sure that we continue to create those tutorials. For example, how do you recover after a lightning strike and your UPS isn't bypass? How do you change that SU2200 battery? All right. In those appropriate links on the website, there will be a link to that tutorial if there is one on YouTube. An
Right.
expanded description, in other words. It's one
That's
thing
neat.
to see a text-driven instruction set, but it's a
Right.
whole nother thing when you see a video that replicates what you have visually, shows you the tools to use, and how to do that process.
Oh yeah, it just reminds me of the story recently. In one of my vehicles, the battery died, and the battery, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize was actually placed in the trunk of the car.
Okay.
And the way they designed the car, and I did not realize that. And thank goodness for video tutorials that was able to walk me through getting the car jumped to get it going again. But that's just one of those moments that our customers will have in regards to their UPS equipment. So being able to easily access what they need for those instances.
A picture tells 1,000 words. The old
Oh,
saying, yeah.
absolutely. It helps walk us through it. So those are some of the new and exciting things that are going to be coming soon. Is there anything else you can think of that you'd want to highlight in regards to that? We've got, speaking along those lines of technology and things that we do, I don't know if everybody realizes it to the point that we have our free 24/7 tech support line. And what's really awesome about it that I always like to share with everybody is that our FEs, our field engineers, will FaceTime our customers to walk them through those critical moments, like what you're talking about when they're on the web, they need a battery or they need something, they can call in, talk to one of our field engineers, and they'll just talk to them FaceTime and
Yeah.
walk them through what they need to have done. Yeah, so that's nice. It's a good feature. Let's see here. We've got something else up on the board for us here. Try driving a Chrysler where the battery was in the front wheel. Well, he had to take the car off to change your or had to take the wheel off, maybe the car off to change your battery. Some engineer needed to be fired. Well, that's how I felt about the car I was driving, because what happened is when the battery died, the trunk locked up, and that's where the battery was at. So how was I going to get into the trunk when it was all locked up? And sure enough, I found, YouTube video, thank goodness, that showed me where we could, connect the jumper cables in the front that actually allowed us to pop open the trunk to change the battery. It's an interesting configuration.
So yeah, the website will be loaded up with new features, makes things easier. A lot of training aids will be embedded in there.
Yes.
And it'll begin to unify our social media presence.
Absolutely.
Just the other day, we have a flyer now that is going to go out to announce our communication products website. And, we have a variety of experts here within the company, and everybody takes a stab at, creating things like this. And it eventually hit my desk as well. Somebody had already done some work on it. And so I was trying to make it look a little bit more consistent with some of the flyers that we had done in the past so that we have uniformity. And I struggled with it for half a day between podcast prep and all the other stuff that I end up doing, right? Answering
Right.
emails. That's become a huge one.
Right.
And it occurred to me, we've got some real talent in our social media team. So I said to Cass, can you look at this? Do you have any ideas here? And this morning, she blew me away with a design. Is there a way
Really?
that we can bring that up, Cass? And,
I'd love to see it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Got it
on
in
the
her place.
server. So
You
Jesse
know,
will be able to
it's-
look at it.
Think I walked by your desk earlier, Cass. I was going to turn back because I thought I saw a flyer on her computer screen for COM. And so I was going to turn back and say, hey, what are you working on over there? Because I wanted to see it because it looked really good. Absolutely.
And when I sat with her, trying to describe to her what my vision of this was
Right.
to evolve into, I began to realize that she has enormous expertise. She says, well, what is your source of inspiration? And I thought, perfectly worded. So I
Right.
showed her some of the old flyers.
Right.
And then we talked about the color wheel and the unification of colors
Right.
and the color opposites versus a triad. And suddenly she was getting so technical, I was just saying, okay, I'm just going to
Run with
listen
it.
at this point. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But if we can pop that up, go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, it's kind of my field. And I went
Yeah.
to school for it. So,
Good field.
yeah, being able to do that is I don't know, fun for me. I do obviously do a lot of the video editing and a lot of the podcast stuff, but I also can dabble in flyers and stuff like that because I went to school for it. I went to school to work on video editing, audio editing, photography, graphic design. It's all in my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, you walk on water, Cass. I just have to admit, after we saw that result.
All the
Is it something
talent.
that we can bring up, guys? Or oh, he's
Oh,
working on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's working
Gotcha.
on
As
it.
soon as we
Gotcha.
find it,
He's
we'll bring
working
it
on
up then, yeah.
Yeah, but that is exciting. Yeah, over the years, it's when you have a lot of different people contributing, you get a lot of different mixes. And so it is important to try to stay with the same theme of things, to keep it.
Speaking of people, where I'm sitting right now, that spot behind me there, it occurred to me who
This guy.
sat there at one point in time.
Yes.
Erica Guthrie.
Oh, yeah.
She was there.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to point out about our company is we have people that leave. You have attrition. It is unavoidable, but
Right.
it's fairly low compared to other companies. When people leave, what I typically find is they think the grass is greener. And the reason is because they haven't watered the grass where they're at. Okay?
Right.
Erica has been gone for what, 8 years now?
9.
9 years.
Yeah.
Okay. She is coming back.
Yes.
And which is fun for me, in being a business owner, is to see the tenure that we have. We have people that have been here over 30 years.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
And it's all about creating the environment, paying attention to people, listening to them, and treating them well. And then making sure that our grass is always cultivated and greener than the other grass.
We don't have access to that. It's not on the studio server, so we'll have to get that next time.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we will show you Cass's creation, and I think you'll agree that it is a superb example of an announcement for this website.
Very good. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of Erica, hopefully she'll be on a future podcast. We'll see how that goes.
She has a type of personality, I feel, that would do well on this type of a podcast.
Agreed.
We
She's very outgoing.
Yeah, and that's what it requires. I mean, these things, if you're in the right mindset, are fun because we're adding some value. We're chit-chatting. We're
Right.
we're engaging with our audience, with our customers often, and it just makes it fun. And we think we're providing a meaningful service in that we're disseminating information of value in a particular industry, like in this case, power services, critical power services.
Absolutely. Well, very good. I think we've done well. It's been a good half hour for us. So we're looking forward to next week's. Anything more you want to add to it, Pete?
No, thank you for joining us, and
All right. Have a good day, guys.
see you next week.